Travel is one of the greatest joys in life. We save our money, we plan our routes, we dream of seeing the great sights of the world. We imagine standing before the Eiffel Tower in Paris, we imagine wandering through the ancient Colosseum in Rome. These places are magnificent. They are the backdrop to our adventures. But I've learned over many years of travel that the real magic doesn't come from the stones of a castle, or from the paintings in a museum. The most powerful experiences come from the people you meet along the way. The most memorable experiences come from the people you meet along the way. The most transformative experiences come from the people you meet along the way. It's the shared laugh with a baker in a small village, or the conversation with a student on a crowded train. These human connections turn a simple vacation into a life-changing journey. Hit subscribe now, share like. Imagine you are walking down a street in a foreign country. You see interesting buildings, you smell new foods, you hear a language you don't understand. You are a visitor, an outsider. Now, imagine that same scene. But this time, you know a few things. You know that it's polite to greet shopkeepers when you enter their store. You know that the seemingly random afternoon closure is for a traditional siesta. You know that the hand gesture you see people making is a sign of good luck, not an insult. Suddenly the world around you makes more sense. You feel more comfortable, you feel more confident, you feel more connected to the rhythm of daily life. This is the power of a little cultural knowledge. Knowing a few facts about a country does more than just help you avoid mistakes. It shows respect. I value your culture. I am interested in your way of life. I am here to learn, not just to look. This small effort can completely change how people perceive you. You are no longer just another tourist passing through. You are a thoughtful traveler, a guest who cares. And when people see that you care, they are much more likely to open up to you. They will be more patient. They will be more helpful. They will be more willing to share their world with you. It's a simple equation. Respect breeds respect. This knowledge also enriches your own experience in profound ways. When you understand the history behind a monument, it becomes more than just a pile of old stones. It becomes a symbol of a nation's struggles and triumphs. When you know the story behind a local dish, it tastes even more delicious. Every sight gains a deeper meaning. Every sound gains a deeper meaning. Every smell gains a deeper meaning. Your trip transforms from a checklist of attractions into a rich, multi-layered experience. You start to see the connections between a country's past and its present. You begin to understand not just what you are seeing, but why it is the way it is. This deeper understanding is the ultimate souvenir, something you carry with you long after you return home. Furthermore, being culturally aware makes you a better ambassador for your own country. When you travel, you are not just representing yourself. You are, in a small way, representing your entire homeland. A clumsy or disrespectful tourist can reinforce negative stereotypes, but a polite, curious, and well-informed traveler can break them down, creating a positive ripple. You don't need a degree in anthropology to connect with people. Often, the smallest and simplest facts can have the biggest impact. Think of these cultural tidbits as a secret handshake. They show that you've done your homework and that you're in the know. One of the easiest and most effective things you can learn is a few words in the local language. Hello, please, thank you, goodbye. When you use these words, even if your pronunciation is not perfect, people's faces light up. You have made an effort, and that effort is almost always appreciated. Another area to focus on is greetings and social etiquette. In some cultures, a firm handshake is the norm. In others, a slight bow is more appropriate. In many parts of Europe, a kiss on each cheek is common between friends. Knowing the proper way to greet someone can help you avoid an awkward first impression. Similarly, understanding dining etiquette is crucial. For example, in Japan, it's considered rude to stick your chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice. In many Middle Eastern countries, it's important to eat only with your right hand. These may seem like small details, but they are deeply ingrained and show great respect when you observe them. Tipping customs are another practical area. In the United States, tipping is expected. In Japan, tipping can be considered an insult. In many European countries, rounding up is customary. Knowing the local tipping culture helps you budget and shows respect for local norms. It prevents you from being perceived as stingy or ostentatious. Finally, pay attention to time and punctuality. In Germany or Switzerland, be exactly on time or early. In many Latin American or Mediterranean cultures, time is more fluid. Understanding these rhythms helps you navigate smoothly. It's learning to dance to the local beat. Food is a universal language. Sharing a meal is one of the most fundamental ways that humans connect, and it's one of my favorite parts of traveling. When you sit down to eat with someone, you are doing more than just satisfying your hunger. You are participating in a tradition that goes back thousands of years. But every culture has its own unique rules and rituals around the dinner table. For instance, in Italy, dinner is a long, leisurely affair. It's a time for conversation and connection. Rushing through your meal is seen as strange. Embracing the slower pace lets you savor the food and the company. In many cultures, offering food is hospitality. In Greece or Turkey, your host may offer a cup of strong coffee, a piece of sweet pastry, or a glass of ouzo. To refuse can be seen as impolite. Accepting, even if you're not very hungry, shows gratitude and openness. This simple act of sharing creates an instant bond. It says, "I am open to your friendship." Knowing local specialties is a great conversation starter. Before you travel, research regional dishes and learn a few names. When you ask for them by name, it impresses your host and shows genuine interest. Ask, "What is the story behind this dish?" And, "What is your favorite way to prepare this?" People are proud of their food and love to share. This can lead to wonderful conversations, maybe even a secret family recipe. Consider South Korea. A traveler waited for the eldest to take the first bite. The host noticed and appreciated the respect. That small gesture helped build trust, a partnership, and a lasting friendship. So, you're convinced that a little cultural homework is a good idea, but where do you find this valuable information? The good news, in our digital age, the answers are at your fingertips. You don't need to spend weeks in a library. A great place to start is guidebooks. Look for sections dedicated to culture, history, and etiquette. I treat these chapters as essential as maps and hotel listings. Read them on the plane or in the evenings. The internet is a treasure trove. Travel blogs and vlogs from creators who focus on deep immersive experiences rather than luxury resorts. Tourism board sites often have pages on local customs and practical visitor info. Online forums let you ask specific questions to experienced travelers and locals. Don't underestimate human connection before you leave. Reach out to friends who have been, or better yet, are from there. Ask, "What's a common tourist mistake?" And "What's one thing you wish visitors knew?" These insights are gold and can spark new friendships. Once you arrive, your best resource is all around you. Be observant, watch in cafes, on transit, in shops, listen to tone and body language, and ask polite questions. Let me share a story about a traveler named Sarah visiting a small rural village in Portugal. On her first day, she felt like an outsider. Villagers were friendly but kept their distance. People nodded politely and moved on. Sarah was staying a week and wanted to feel connected. She'd been practicing a few Portuguese phrases but was nervous to use them. For 2 days she walked, took pictures, and ate alone, feeling lonely. On day 3 she decided to be brave. On the way to the market she saw an elderly woman on a bench. Sarah's heart pounded. She walked up, smiled, and said, "Bom dia." The woman's face lit up. She patted the bench, inviting Sarah to sit. The woman spoke no English. Sarah knew just a few words. But it didn't matter. They sat in quiet ease. The woman pointed to a flower pot and spoke. Sarah smiled and nodded. She pointed to a sunlit cat and said, "Gato." The woman laughed joyfully. The ice was broken. For the rest of the week, everything changed. Elena told the village about the friendly American trying to speak their language. The baker gave her an extra pastry. The cafe owner showed photos of his grandchildren. By week's end, Sarah was invited into Elena's home for bread, cheese, and olives. They communicated with gestures, smiles, and a few shared words. It became one of her most moving meals. There's a big difference between being a tourist and being a traveler. A tourist often moves through a country in a bubble. Large international hotels, restaurants for foreigners, sights from a bus window. A traveler tries to pop that bubble and engage on a deeper level, strive to become a temporary local, rent an apartment, slow down, spend a week in one place, find your local bakery, your favorite cafe, your neighborhood grocery. Faces become familiar, you feel part of the fabric. Go to the same coffee shop each morning, soon the barista recognizes you. Use public transportation, shoulder to shoulder with everyday people, you see how they dress, talk, and carry themselves. It's a real slice of life, often cheaper than taxis. And it teaches the city's geography. You might get a little lost, but that's how you find hidden gems. Be more interested than interesting. Ask questions instead of just taking pictures. Seek authentic experiences even if they're not famous. Maybe skip a big museum to visit a small workshop or choose a simple family-run restaurant over a 5-language menu. These are the stories that last a lifetime. They connect you to the soul of a place. As you plan your next trip, think beyond the itinerary of sites. Start building your cultural toolkit now. It's knowledge and attitudes you pack alongside your passport and your comfortable shoes. The first tool is curiosity. Instead of judging differences, get curious. Why do people do things this way? What's the history behind this tradition? Next, basic language skills. You don't need fluency, connection, not perfection. Use a free app or website, practice out loud, write phrases on a small card. Hello, goodbye, please, thank you, excuse me, yes, no, do you speak English? Delicious. The third tool is research. Spend an hour or two on greetings, tipping, gestures to avoid, and appropriate dress, especially for religious sites. A quick search for etiquette and country name gives plenty of great information. Basic rules before the game begins. Finally, humility. Remember you're a guest. You're there to learn, not to teach. When things are confusing or inefficient, take a breath, smile, and be patient. Don't complain it's not like home, of course it's not. Embrace humility to become a more gracious traveler. It opens your heart to travel's true lessons. Keep your toolkit light: curiosity, a few words, practical etiquette, and humility. Travel is a powerful force for good in the world. It breaks down walls, it challenges our prejudices, it builds bridges of understanding. With an open heart and a curious mind, we enrich our lives and contribute to a more peaceful, connected world. Every friendly conversation, every shared meal, every respectful interaction is a small act of diplomacy. We are far more alike than we are different. We all share the same basic hopes: to be safe, to be happy, to be understood. The goal isn't to become an expert on every culture, it's simply to make an effort, show up willing to learn and respect the local way of life. Your best memories won't be when everything went perfectly, they'll be the unexpected human connections, the stranger who guided you, the laughter with a shopkeeper, the meal in a family's home. The monuments and landscapes are the stage, but the local people are the stars. Their stories, traditions, and hospitality. As you pack, remember curiosity and humility. Learn a few words and read about local customs. These small preparations open doors. You'll return with more than photos, with a deeper understanding of the world and your place in it. So now, a question. As you think about your future travels, what is one cultural fact you would love to share from your own culture with a new friend abroad? Or one cultural fact you're excited to learn on your next trip?